As we continue this course, we will focus now on how to trade like a professional. If you learn how to trade like a professional, you'll have no problem passing your prop firm challenges. There are 5 things that I will mention in this video that sets the professionals apart from the average day trader. And the first key aspect is the playbook. This is the core of your trading business. There is an entire module devoted to the playbook and its use, but for now, I will summarize the 5 areas to incorporate into your trading to maximize your profits, become a CPT, and get funded. As a professional, there are 3 things you need to know how to do. You need to know how to pick trades with a high edge, a high expected value, meaning you come out in profit from trading a series using the setup. Number 2, you need to trade those setups very well. Whenever they appear, whenever the market gives you a chance, you need to be able to execute those trades with mastery. Number 3, you need to be able to place the right size on them. Many times people utilize patience and spend a long time waiting on their setups to appear, but when they finally appear, the strong A setups, the strong A+ setups, they don't give them the right size. So we need to master those 3 things: being able to pick trades with high expected value, trade them very well, and place the right size on them, okay? Now, the first phase covered technical analysis, risk management, and some areas of psychology. Most people stop there, which is why they don't become consistently profitable. To trade consistently profitable, every trader needs a playbook that organizes the trades with edge, right? So our first step will be to organize a playbook. If you look in the Discord of many of the groups that we've been in, certain academies that we've been in, even certain Telegram groups, you always see people saying, hey, what about US 30 today? What about gold today? What do you think about this markup? And what they're doing is they're marking up patterns, right? They're marking up loose setups, right? So they may see a break and retest, they may see drop-based drop or a rally-based rally, and it doesn't, they may see it in different time frames, right? It may be on the 5-minute, maybe on the 1 hour, see something on the 30-minute, see something on the 4 hour. It's all sort of scattered, but the playbook organizes your setups and your confirmations. But not only does it do that, it contextualizes them. What does that mean? So when you look at the market, you are always going to see supply and demand zones, okay? So when the market is rallying, you're going to see both supply and demand zones, but you need to be able to organize in your playbook the best time to trade demand, the best time to trade supply. Your question shouldn't be to the community, hey, what do you think about the markup? Your question should be to yourself, hey, does this fit the setup in my playbook that I have identified through backtesting that works over an aggregate amount of times, right? So in your setup, this is what I do, right? The reason I can call trade ideas, the reason I can call setups confidently is because I ask my playbook. I've already organized the setup. I say, hey, when the market is rallying, I'm not going to trade supply. I'm going to trade demand, and I'm going to trade demand from the 4-hour demand or the 1-hour demand zone. I'm not trading the 5-minute demand. I'm not trading the 30-minute demand or the 15-minute demand. I'm giving you an example. In my playbook, I have identified and contextualized that the best times that demand has the highest win rate are when the market, when US 30 is rallying. So therefore, I am not going to trade supply. I'm not going to ask the group, hey, what do you think about the supply zone? No, I'm not saying you can ask questions. What I'm saying is that you have a playbook. And in your playbook, you said, hey, I've back tested demand zones during the rally 50 times already. And out of 50 times, I win 40 or I win 45. And I have back tested the reverse. When the market is rallying, I back tested supply. And I've noticed out of 20 times, the supply is going to be a majority loser when the market is rallying. So therefore, when my playbook, I've organized it. When the market is rallying, supply is a C setup. When the market is rallying, demand is an A setup. Therefore, I'm going to ask my playbook, okay? Understand? So what people have are random patterns, but you need to contextualize the pattern and understand when the pattern gives us the highest win rate. Is it an uptrend? Is it a downtrend? Is it a ranging market? Is it a choppy market? Right? So in the playbook, number 1, we're going to organize the setups, but identify when they play out, when they have the highest win rate. Okay. So then after that, after we have 2 to 3 A setups. That's all you need to pass the challenge, really, right? After you have 2 to 3, 2 to 4 A setups that you've back tested and you've validated, and you know exactly when you're going to trade them. See, that's the missing key for most people. They're in groups saying, hey man, what do you think about gold? Is that a rally-based rally? But is that a demand zone? But gold is on the downtrend. I'm not saying right now, I'm just saying in the big picture, gold is on the downtrend. So why would we be looking for demand zones? We should be looking for supply, because the supply would give us greater chances, right? Higher edge. So that's the first thing we need to do. Any of these random setups you have in your mind, you need to put them into a playbook and you need to validate when they give the highest edge. Okay, this is for all of us. We all had to do this. At one point, I was just looking at break and retest, looking at supply and demand, just randomly. But I was missing the contextualization. That's the first step. Second step, now that we know that these give us the highest rate, right? We're going to master those setups. And the process of mastery will come by these 4, okay? And I'm gonna talk about mastery in a minute, but just wanna highlight. So we're gonna use the daily report card, okay? We're gonna use film. We're gonna use review by mentors, right? Or review by your peers, okay? We're gonna use advanced trade management, okay? So that we can execute those high edge setups, right? But let me get into a little bit more deeper into the mastery piece. The difference between good, pro, elite, extraordinary traders is their commitment, purposeful practice, deliberate practice, and mental representations. There's a book called Peak: Secrets from this New Science of Expertise by Anders Ericsson, right? He discusses the difference between naive practice and deliberate practice. Many traders follow naive practice. They equate looking at random charts repeatedly or backtesting for hours with deliberate practice, right? It is common for traders to backtest random patterns they learned about and wonder why they aren't improving. The difference between elite traders and novice traders can be illustrated by comparing novice chess players with grandmaster chess players. Several master chess players have been able to play blindfold chess, okay? Not just one game, but in over 32 games simultaneously, right? So this one chess master was able to hold the entire chessboard in his memory, right? And he has the ability not to hold only one chessboard, but 32 different boards, each with a different set of rules, and memorize their details in his head. So professional athletes also can hold complex scenarios in their head and act upon them in ways that most people cannot. So the masters have achieved mastery because they have developed effective mental representations that allowed them to recreate experiences in their mind, make accurate predictions on long sequences of events, and condense large information into seemingly simple representations, right? So in Anderson's view, mental representations are the most important difference between novices and experts, right? And this is what you can imagine a chess player that's able to hold these things in his mind, the same way the professional trader is able to hold different patterns, different plays from their playbook in their mind, so that they can make accurate predictions, right? And they can condense a lot of different charts into a simple interpretation, right? So Anders, he ran a study where he took a graduate student and tried to help him remember as many digits as possible, right? So he began with 6 digits and then 7 and then 8. And he only believed that at the beginning, he could remember about 7, right? So meaning Anders would recite these digits to him. He would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And the student had to repeat those digits back. So what happened though, is that eventually after 200 sessions, he hit a point where he could repeat up to 82 digits, okay? So he started off with 7 and thought that he'd never be able to pass 7. What would happen is he would hit a perceived limit. Then he would have some prolonged frustration. And then he would have a sudden breakthrough, okay? And then after that breakthrough, he would have rapid progress, okay? So this happened at 22. This happened at 34. This happened at 50. This happened at 60 and kept going until he was able to hit 82, okay? So this was about 75 more than he had imagined at first. So he achieved this by activating purposeful practices, core components, which are, number 1, having a specific goal, okay? So his specific goal was to advance. He hit 7, he wanted to hit 8. He hit 8, then he wanted to hit 9. Then he hit 9 and wanted to hit 10, okay? So then the next thing was intense focus, okay? So he would have at least 1 hour of intense focus, okay? And he had periods of intense focus without distractions, all right? Then number 3, he was given immediate feedback, okay? So the professor gave him immediate feedback, right? He either got it right or he didn't, right? And then number 4, he was continuously pushed outside of his comfort zone, operating on the edge of his abilities, right? So the forced and intense practice pushed his mind to come up with creative solutions and adapt, right? The mind is very inventive, and he kept coming up with clever ways to reach beyond what he knew, right? So for example, through a tree branch, he was able to see 4 digits as 1, okay? So he was able to take 4, and in his mind, he was able to envision a tree branch that allowed him to collect 4 digits at a time, right? So this is something that he was able to do from being creative. So each time he found his limits, right, he came up with a new technique. He found out that his limits were related to a technique issue and not an effort issue. Anderson started another experiment with another student and gave him a head start by teaching him the methods that the first student used, right? So he advanced much faster than the first student did. And it only took him a few sessions to reach 20 digits. And with that head start, Anders developed some more unique techniques, and he was able to retain 100 digits in just under a week, okay? So Anderson's formula is deliberate practice is the result of combining purposeful practice with expert coaching, okay? According to Anders, the right kind of practice over a sufficient period of time leads to improvement. Nothing else can, right? So in order to become exceptional traders, we must follow the same process. In order for us to master our plays, we will create mental representations. This is why the bar replay tool is very important. The more that you see the charts, the better, because you have more mental representations of the charts as you are trading. Okay? So don't worry, I will demonstrate how I did it with US30 in a future video, okay? So think about every single problem that you have, perceived limit. Some people say, I have trouble with losses, okay? If you have trouble with losses, that's a perceived limit. And I'm sure you've already reached a point of prolonged frustration, okay? So we're gonna come up with techniques to help you push through those limits. You'll have a sudden breakthrough and then rapid progress. This is the loop. This is going to be a loop, right? You may hit a certain goal and then you hit another goal, you hit another perceived limit, and then we'll continue to grow that way, okay? So now remember, these are the 4 components of purposeful practice: specific goal, intense focus on that goal, immediate feedback, and frequent discomfort, okay? Getting out of the comfort zone. So now how are we going to create that in trading? We create that with trading through the daily report card, okay? So the daily report card, we're going to pick one specific goal every day. We're going to focus only on that goal for that day. You're going to focus, if you want to learn how to hold the trade, you back tested the move. It's in your playbook, but you have a problem holding, okay? So the goal of that day has nothing to do with P&L. It has nothing to do with anything else but holding your trade. So you say, I'm going to hold my trade to target. I'm not going to move my stop loss. That's another, right? So the goal of the day is not moving the stop loss. The goal of the day is not taking partials too early. The goal of the day is not over leveraging. The goal of the day is to size up on my A+ setups. And then film. Film is another one. So remember, specific goal, intense focus, immediate feedback. So you're going to have the DRC and you'll have the film, because you can take a look at the film, look at a specific goal. You can intensely focus on that goal and examine it through film. And the film will give you immediate feedback. And then you can share that film or your DRC with me, and I can give you a review of your film, okay, or the playbook. Now, the fifth thing here that is very important is advanced trade management. Most traders, beyond just finding the setups, beyond having the playbook, most traders trade inefficiently. Most traders are either on their phone, typing in numbers, typing in the entry, typing in the stop loss, typing in the TP, slow, or using a mouse to click, trying to calculate their lot sizes in their mind, using the same lot size with different stop losses, inefficient risk, using different risk percentages. We are going to turn up. We are going to increase your ability to execute trades quickly, to execute trades consistently with consistent risk. We're going to have a whole series on advanced trade management, automatic lot calculation based on risk, hotkeys, closing and opening trades at the click of a button, closing all of the positions that are open at the click of a button, at the press of a key. High performing traders use these methods, and we're going to cover this. Okay. So I hope this was beneficial. Number one, start with the playbook. Start thinking about the playbook. Okay. Please leave your comments and questions below. See you in the next video.